Well, hey Aries, how about a reading from your metal dog today? I'm going to start out with a little oracle card from a new deck a friend gave me. It's a beautiful little deck. Give us a little inspiration here. They're beautiful cards. And you get community. Community. This is the overarching idea of this reading, community. Well, cool. That sounds nice after we've been in social isolation. Let's look at this very brief description. The bond and strength of coming together in likeness and in differences. This is not a solo journey. We are stronger together. Beautiful. Well, let's see what that may mean for you. I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot for you. Get you a little advice, my friend Aries. Oh, a Two of Cups is popping up here. New love interest? Maybe. Some of you. Meeting your match out there in the community. Let's see. I'm a little tired all of a sudden. Are you tired? I could be. Could be tired. Okay. All right. Come with me. I'll show you the way. All right. First card is what you want to release. And this is a good thing to want to release. It's a Three of Swords. This is the anguish of betrayal, of pain, loss. Yeah. This is suffering. So you've been feeling that. Grief. And it's time to release that somehow. We'll see. Because I'm never, as your reader, going to rush you through grief. But let's see how the cards help you move on from this. Towards, you see you're still walking away from your heart here, this is a card of unfulfillment, of walking towards a new possibility, a new option. Leaving something that was unfulfilling, and yet because in this deck it's a cup, it's one of the cups, it's that you walk away from the cup, and you can see if you look closely, it's a little dark in my house right now, there's a lot of other cups that are sinking in here, and the 9 cups, that's what you're after, that's your fulfillment. It should be there on the horizon. But yeah, I feel like you're grieving, you walking away from your heart in a way towards the hope of something over there. So interesting. So the next card is what the cards want you to revisit. We have Mercury in retrograde. This is in the realm of communication, ideas, technology. It's not always about things crapping out or having disagreements with your friends and family. It's also when the planets go backwards, they cover the same territory that we just went through, and then they'll cross it again. So Mercury's in retrograde, Saturn is in retrograde, and we're going to be having Jupiter in retrograde here soon. So in the next month or so. So it's a good time to think, what are we revisiting? You're revisiting some idea that you're trapped. The Eight of Swords is a perspective of being trapped when you are not, when you're actually free. She just sees herself in the mirror as trapped. In fact, she is not tied up. But just her mind. Those birds represent the swords, which are the suit of the mind. So, another reader today, Cindy at Awakening to Spirit, points out that when she's giving readings to people and we've been sheltering in place, like, you can't really say it's all in your mind. Although I'd say that from shelter, it's been possible to leave home in ways. Sorry, my cat's scratching the carpet. Hey! Naughty. It's a really expensive carpet. Not really. I had to order her a new cat tree, so hopefully that will stop that behavior. Okay. There's a hidden influence here. This is a grim reading, my friend. Aries. So community is overarching this. So We'll find out. But the hidden influence is the card of the headache, as another reader I often cite, Sassy Scorpion. This is a card of self-harm, of winning in a way that you regret. Perhaps you were underhanded in some way, or you won, but somebody got hurt, and sometimes it's you that gets hurt. Very often it's you, and there's this. It's not a very good feeling of victory. Yeah, you're in quite a place, my friend. The future, should you choose to take this advice, is the devil. Wow. Dark stuff, Aries. I don't expect this of you. No, the devil is just an opportunity to look at the darkness, face your addiction, face your fear, face your self-doubt, your codependence. It can be very sexy too. It can be going in the dark is a necessary thing for us. It's also the card of Capricorn, so perhaps you have a Capricorn in your future. Everything here is blue, is blue and black. There's that big red broken heart, and then like strangely, kind of in a very strange way, at odds with this, we see community. So I'm glad I pulled that card, because it maybe that is where this fulfillment lies, this escape from the feeling of the headache, the bondage, lies in getting out of yourself, out of the trap that something else is pulling the strings on your life. That's not ever true, completely. There's a lot of ways that people who have been in horrible incarceration and slavery, the search for meaning within the context of the Holocaust, like you can read, and I've read some things about people who lived through the worst kind of confinement, and they found a way to be joyful, to be of service, to have a purpose beyond their suffering. And it looks to me like that's what this reading is calling you towards, Aries. And you're gonna have to deal with your head. You're in the swords, and the devil is right there, and and there's the Ace of Cups. There's divine love over this. Yep, this is the bottom of the deck, so there is love here. There's a divine love here. It looks a lot more like this. Yeah, all that light coming out from that heart in that cup. That looks like what we're seeing here in community. And then the rest of the deck is in reverse. All right, I'm going to use the Tarot of the Wild Unknown to clarify this. So I'm having a little trouble with lighting everything up here and seeing a little bit. I just feel this strong urge to do readings right now, so bear with the dramatic lighting. I hope you can read the cards. Okay, what's going on with the Three of Swords? What is this grief, my dear? How does it mean? What does it mean? The card's telling you to release that grief somehow. There's your Five of Swords. This is the hidden influence. This is another representation. This is very explicitly about self-harm, your brain hurting you. So because the Three of Swords is of the mind, swords are the intellect, the mind, philosophy, ideology. 3 often is about betrayal, like a third party. It doesn't have to be, but there's what I understand already is that what you're releasing isn't grief. Like, you can't. Good luck. I know you're probably trying, actually. What you release is the head trip of it. The trap of your mind, the figuring out part, the self-harming part of grief, which is of your mind. And you do this with the Father of Swords, who is a wise, represented by the owl, of course. He is a wise king or father. I like king. Person. This is you in your wisest self. This king has seen it all. Is very deep, wise owl. I saw one of these last summer when there were fires out there in California. Boy, this was one tired owl. It was daylight, not that early in the morning, and it was just, I like to say she was just exhausted sitting on this tree. This Father of Swords, I think of as having been through it, but has a rainbow sword. This is a beautiful truth. This is shifting your mind away from pain and anguish and towards the kind of philosophy that emerges from having walked through that pain. Yeah. And there's the Eight of Cups, which is the next card here. It's a very clearly black and white image. The cups are broken. This is quite a version of this card. Most other Eights of Cups look much more like this, of, you're going off on a quest, a spiritual fulfillment, kind of an emotional fulfillment, a quest towards that. This one is that you must leave this place. This is a dark, black and white place that is focused on all that is broken, and remember, this is the ninth cup. You have it here. This is the reason for this reading. So we see it here as well. That heart, that divine love, and she's walking away from that. So this is what you're to embrace. What are we embracing here, Aries? Or what are you embracing? I'm so sorry for your pain and where you are, and that you're finding that beautiful wisdom, like this Father of Swords, in your grief. That's a beautiful cardinal quality of yours, Aries. Okay, so there's some control, some balancing, some very practical thinking, figuring out going on. Not a comfortable place to be, but it's definitely a method of surviving. There is lots of practical pentacle energy. This is a solitary energy. When you're home in your nest, you're just making your beautiful nest all by yourself. This is you alone, making a safe and beautiful home. And then the ending, the world, something ending, big thing, big ending. It's also a call to, outside of your individual misery, it's a call to the world, to community, to transcend this path of the individual ego, which is represented here by the Four of Pentacles, like really much like this is mine, and the Nine of Pentacles, like me and my home. It's the end of the limited worldview. It's a call to, it comes after Judgment with the card of Ascension, that is the results of having given up selfish things to ascend into a higher plane. So the world is much like the Eight of Cups. It's a call, it's a spiritual calling of some kind, because we have the card of community over this reading. I feel that your rainbow sword, the truth that you have acquired as a result of this loss, takes you towards a community, out of your individual pain, this feeling that you're trapped. You need to relook at that. So let's look at that. Let's clarify that. Isn't that a beautiful world card? I love that. It's abstract and rainbows and flowers. It just stars out there. It's an eye. It's a snake. Yeah, it's a beautiful image. This is my very first tarot deck, and I just, when I love it. I've always loved it, and it's scary. It's a really clear deck. It is not complicated in its imagery, and sometimes when I first was reading cards, it was too much for me to face. The Five of Swords was too much. I was just terrified of getting this card. Now I understand, like, any card is an opportunity. It's an advice. Like, oh, you're here, so you can move here. So you're in a 5, you can move towards a 6. 6 is changing your mind, moving to a more comfortable place. 8 of Swords. This is what we're revisiting. The idea, right, that you're in bondage somehow. You're trapped. You can't leave. This is something you decided in February of 21. So that's where Saturn's going to return to. So sometime since February, you just agreed, no, yeah, I can't move. I'm trapped. I'm tied up here. And then there was a manifestation, just a little idea, a little openness that you had. There was the end, the 10 of Swords. Very painful, very dark. Another card it was really hard for me to get. You walk away from this to a new day. Whereas another reader says you pull all those swords out and rise from the dead. It's just an emotional, intellectual state. And you're done. You're done with the swords when you get to the 10. But as you can see, it's just very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Okay, what else? There's an 8 of Swords again. See, in this 8 of Swords, you are a butterfly that can fly right out of there. I can see why you're afraid to open those wings. It's sharp. It's sharp. It hurts. But you have this there's a rainbow vision here. It's just an idea. It's a manifestation. You made it. This is something you made, like those little art projects with the yarn that we made when we were kids. So this is telling you to look at what you made, this trap that you made, but also that when you made it, you gave yourself beautiful monarch butterfly wings and this rainbow day that's going to come in. Like other 3s of Wands, you'll see somebody standing waiting for their ships to come in. So waiting maybe is the problem. And we can see that the embrace is walk towards this new day. Don't just wait. Walk. Walk away from the carcass that is, yes, rightfully making you full of sorrow. Spread your wings and fly towards your vision. Don't just wait. Yeah. It's still a very, very solitary journey here, even though we have community and the world here. There's an ending. Something's ended, Aries. Yeah, something ended. There's a new Ace of Cups, though. Underlying this whole reading, we have that Ace of Cups. It's the glimmer of hope, honestly, here. And so just remember, you made this, whatever it is that you feel trapped in. And you also made your way escape as a part of that. As a part of that. You might have forgotten that you made an escape. Okay, so you got this headache, right? You got this self-harm. We've seen this twice on the table. This indicates that you have agency. You can change your situation because you are the agent of this. I said that, but then like I'm quiet because I'm like, why does that mean that? that you have agency. So that is a message for you. You are the agent of your life. You manifested this maybe, but that came out. So that's awesome. Channeling is trippy, because I'm like, oh, let me just lose control here and say things that don't make sense. Okay, so there's the Mother of Wands. She is the drama queen. She's very protective of her eggs. Passion. She's my favorite queen. She's the drama. I love drama. I love big femme energy, artists, and big presence. All right, so that's what I think of the Mother of Wands, or the Queen of Wands, and she's an everyday person. In the original Rider-Waite deck by Pamela Coleman Smith, like the wands, and this may have an earlier history, but I know in that deck this is true. The wands are the peasant class, or they're the everyday people. Their feet are bare, and she always has a black cat at her knee. So you'll see the Queen of Wands often dressed in yellow, like the sun, because she's of fire, like you, Aries. Yeah, there's a lot there in that. And then there's the Daughter of Wands. That's the Page of Wands. The creative, sort of, she brings the outsider perspective. Page of Wands is young, but also has the viewpoint of somebody who's a foreigner. I like to say queer, someone who exists outside norms of society in some way. There's the alien. They're not from here, and so they see. And there's the High Priestess. So when we see the High Priestess, pay attention, because it's saying, like, yes, what you think is right, and your intuition is right, whatever that is, whatever you're thinking, Aries here. Who is, maybe when I just said that, you thought, oh, I know who the Page or the Daughter of Wands is in my world. The voice of and with the Mother of Wands and the Daughter of Wands, I feel like we are actually getting to community. We're getting to the everyday people that maybe because you've been on this grieving, solitary journey, and you've been very trapped in yourself, in control in your little home, you've forgotten the world. You've forgotten these everyday people. I think it's problematic, but the wands are also sometimes represented by people of color within tarot decks. I think we could then all the other three are all white people, so that's what's problematic. But I do think it's also like important. Like, these are the hidden influences behind this reading that you're not thinking about these people. Mother of Wands, Daughter of Wands, and a Nine of Wands. So this is taking the steps. This is the tiring end of a journey, and you just have to climb up that staircase to be done. Then you're done. You're almost done. It's a journey through fire. Wands, fire. Your element, Aries. You ascend this staircase, and because this card gives us a staircase, like 12 steps, if if that works for you. You ascend this staircase to the Mother of Wands and the Daughter of Wands as a way of remedying this feeling that you have, that you got somewhere through selfish means, or you did so in a way that hurts you, that's against your values in some way, that has left you with a sense of remorse, a headache, like darn it, I wish I didn't have to do it that way kind of feeling. And I feel like the community is represented by the Suit of Wands here, and they are under the sun, which is a part of the fire in the tarot. Now, because the 12 steps come up here, that makes me think of addiction. The future is the devil. So, whatever it is, the obsession, the addiction, the codependence, the darkness that you need to look at in yourself. It could be this extreme self-centeredness of your head that you just shut down and you're just up here. You're doing a lot of controlling, right? You're just like worrying about your money and your security and your personal solitude. That's what I feel like is a normal way to respond to this. It's just not necessarily a healthy way. And the devil, like if you're at all vulnerable to drinking too much or doing drugs, selfish and self-centered in the extreme, that's the devil. So you're gonna have to walk up out of this, and it's just one step at a time. That's for some of you. Okay, there is victory. There she is. It's another fiery. There's that butterfly that you are in the. There's that butterfly. She opened her wings and she flew up above all the darkness. Beautiful. This is you, Aries. In your fire element, flying, taking flight. Beautiful. Still blue. You're still blue. But blue also represents authenticity. So suggests facing and being victorious over whatever the devil represents. Could just be something that's in your head. I did a reading for Leo, another fire sign, and they had the devil show up under the hidden influences as a clarifier, and it was just so clearly fear of change, of the world changing to be more equal, to be more socially just. So sometimes the devil is actually just a fear, and once you face it, you're like, well, actually the devil and I are on the same side because, I am critical of the norms of my society, and that's what the Daughter of Wands helps you do. She helps you see that truth. In the tarot, when you get the Ace of Swords after you said something, it just means you're right, tarot reader. Truth. So victorious with this truth. And there is the symbol of infinity, of a snaky rainbow, and there is inspiration like lightning coming down from the sky. I'm reminded of the truth that you got all the way back here in the beginning underneath your Three of Swords. And finally, so 5 wands, a little bit of chaos, confusion. I actually think this is good right now. This is reorganizing our society, and it can feel a bit chaotic. It can feel chaotic because the norms, the structural norms have been disrupted as they need to be. This is an egalitarian society. How do we do that? Do we know how to do that? Do we know how to work together as equals instead of somebody's the boss? Somebody's the boss who's holding the strings. And then there's the everyday person in the hoodie. I have a sweet trans girl in my life who wears a hoodie so that nobody challenges her gender performance. That's just a passage way. It's just a 5. There's your High Priestess again on the bottom. Trust your intuition. Also on the bottom, and this is the last one, is your card, Justice. There is that sword. There is the devil and you working together. That's what I say. This is a collaboration. Whoever the devil is to you, the white kitty, Yeah. Trust your intuition. Trust this reading. Trust your reader. You're going to be victorious over this state of mind, this pain. And it is in getting out of yourself. Not in quitting grieving, but get out of yourself. It's a very austere reading here, but you made a trap for yourself and it's keeping you isolated, keeping you from spreading your wings and being victorious and bringing truth and light to the world, to darkness. Yeah. So there's an Ace of Cups for you, honey. Divine love, new love. It looks like you got your heart broken. You had a loss that you're walking away from. And all respect for that loss. You're at risk, I want to say. The devil ahead, it's just the darkness of your cards. There's risk here for you, Aries. And you're being warned. You're being warned. Because there's some self-harm here that you need to quit. And, yeah, I'm not going to hide that from you. There's a lot of, there's a 10 of Swords is under this 8 of Swords. So that feels to me like a warning of what may come if you don't remember that you created this feeling of being trapped in your mind, and that you can get back down into the wands, into your fire, into your passion, into the creative, instinctive fire in you, Aries, to ignite that change. I got to work with a great Aries activist for a few years, and it was really exciting, that fire that you can manifest, Aries. It's needed. It's needed. So please do come up out of this darkness. And I think it's healthier for you. From 2 5s of Swords, yeah, you don't want to stay there. So watch out for that devil. This is a pretty sexy devil, if you ask me. So I want to embrace that sexiness, no judgment, but I also want you to be careful of whatever darkness, the way that it can cause us to go into self-harming, self-centered behavior. That's the warning. Okay. Out of yourself, my dear. Hang in there. I'm sorry this looks very painful. Have a good day.